What's up guys, I'm Joel Dodge. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is episode 3 of How to Die Empty. And it's actually the final episode and we're talking about getting started and specifically getting started with whatever your passion is, whatever your dreams are. And today is going to be really practical. I wanted to start out with this quote I heard recently that I think is just awesome, and it's from Zig Ziglar, and he says that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to start to be great. And I wanted to just start off with that quote because I think a lot of times when we think about our passions and our dreams, we think about how awesome it's going to be, you know, like 5 years down the road when we've like built this awesome thing and we're just killing it, you know. But I think it's so important to ground those dreams and those realities in reality, because the reality of it is you're never going to do anything that's that massive or that great until you've spent the time doing it small and building up that experience and building up your capacity to do those things. I just want to give you some encouragement, and I'm going to give you a few practical things that I've experienced every time I've started something. And then at the end, I want to say a few things to avoid as you begin to start whatever that passion is for you. But actually, before we get into all that, I just want to say if there's something that you're passionate about that you want to start pursuing, I would love to hear about those in the comments, especially if this series and these videos have encouraged you to pursue your passion. I would really love to hear about that. But yeah, so the first thing I want to say about when you get started is that that first step is actually the hardest step. And I think a lot of times when we look ahead and we think about those things that we just would have no idea how to do them at this point, you think that those are going to be the hard things. But what you'll realize really quickly is that the hardest step is actually the first step, because it's the only step that you feel so uncertain of how to move forward. When you take that first step, it just becomes significantly easier to take the second step, because it begins to build your knowledge base. So instead of you just feeling like, man, I could never do this or never do that, it becomes significantly easier with every step because of for one thing, because of the knowledge. Also, because you begin to build this belief in yourself as you begin to take practical steps towards the thing that you desire. And that's something, I know that sounds weird, but I'm telling you it's the truth. It's with everything that I've ever started on, I always look back and realize that the hardest thing was just getting out the gate, you know? The second thing I want to say is that, and this is something that you don't expect when you're first starting something, but I promise you this is real, is that you'll find unexpected resources and help after you get started. I don't know why it's like that, because we want to know that we're going to have people to back us up, or the resources to do what we want to do when we're getting started. But what I've found is that every time that I take an intentional step and say, I'm going to start doing this, I begin to find people and begin to find resources that are going to help me accomplish that. It's crazy how all these unexpected things come to back you up when you get started. And I know that sounds like wishful thinking or something, but I'm just telling you it's the truth. And it's not just with this YouTube channel, it's other things that I've started. I've always found that there's resources and people that want to help you, that are going to be there to help you once you get started. So I just wanted to say those two things. I think it's really intimidating when you're taking that first step, but I just want to assure you that all you need to know in the beginning is how to take the first step. You don't need to know how to do that thing you're going to do 5 years from now. You don't even need to know how to take the 10th step. What you need to know is how to take the first step, and I guarantee you that after you take the first step, the second step becomes clear. And so that's just some practical things that happen when you get started. But there's two things that I think that you should try to avoid when you're getting started. And the first thing is overeducating yourself. And this is, so many dreams and passions have died because it's like you spend so much time learning about something without taking any real steps towards it. And this might sound weird if you haven't started something like this, but you don't really start learning till you get started. And that's not to say that you should just get started without doing your research. Something that I've been trying to do in my life when I start new things is I like to spend about 3 months researching that thing and then taking my first step. And for me, it's like if I spend any more time than that without taking an intentional step towards it, I just begin to get lost in the details, and you start to get worried that you're not going to be able to perform as well as the people that are teaching you about things. And so that's something that I hold myself to, is I'll research something for 3 months. But this is the thing about that rule for me, is at the end of 3 months of researching, you're going to know what the first step is. And the other great thing about doing a little bit of research, or I guess 3 months isn't a little bit, but the other good thing about doing some research before you get started is it's going to help you avoid some very simple mistakes that other people make when they got started without doing research. So I do recommend learning. I recommend not just learning, like spend a good amount of time learning, but then just get to it. And the second thing I want to say, and I just want to challenge you guys with this, is don't let your first action towards your dream be buying something. And this one is just completely from my own experience. I can't tell you how much of the studio gear I have behind me just sat completely unused for years, because I would want to start doing something. I would want to start recording more music, or I'd want to start doing something like that. And and then I would do some research, and then I would feel like I need this thing to help me make the music as well as I want, or to do this or that. And then I would go buy something, and then that would be all I did. Because once I bought that thing, it gives you this feeling like you did something. And it's weird. It gives you this feeling that you actually did something, where all you really did is waste money because you're not even going to use the thing, So I just want to challenge you guys, whatever that passion is, whatever that dream is for you, unless you can't do it without some new piece of gear or technology, don't buy anything. Try to work with what you have, because it does a few things. One thing is, it really solidifies your determination to say, I'm going to work with literally the things that I have and to pursue my passion. And that's not to say that you shouldn't upgrade at some point, but when you're first getting started, for example, if you're starting a YouTube channel, you can start with your cell phone, or you can start with whatever digital camera you have. I recently upgraded my camera, but that was after 3 months of using a camera I had bought a few years back. And I'm so glad I did it that way, because it helps solidify your resolve. And that's not to say don't buy stuff if you need it, but it's just to say, when you're first getting started, buying something is not a first step, because so many times you just buy it and put it on the shelf. Anyway, that was everything I wanted to say. I really hope that this is giving you some practical things with moving forward towards pursuing your dreams and your passions. If you haven't already, please subscribe so that you can see all the other content that's coming on this YouTube channel. I've got some really exciting stuff coming in the next few months. And but that's it. As always, die empty. I'll catch you in the next one.